Hello everyone, welcome to the Sad Crime Channel. The story for today took place in Sweden in 2016. I invite you to listen. Arboga is a quiet town with a population of 14,000, located in the southeast of Sweden. In the 1990s, it became a summer retreat for the Möller family, who purchased a magnificent estate in the area. The property included, among other things, a two-story red-painted house and two outbuildings. The whole was surrounded by a beautiful forest, which ended at a beach leading to Lake Hjälmaren, the country's third-largest such reservoir. The head of the family, Goran, met his wife Anki in their early youth. The couple fell deeply in love and soon tied the knot. Shortly after, they had two daughters, the older one, Ulrika, and her sister, Johanna, who was 3 years younger. The girls not only differed in age, but also in their approach to life. In adulthood, Ulrika became a successful woman. Together with her father, she founded a small company called Pearls for Girls, which quickly achieved remarkable financial success. In 2011, the business was sold, providing the Möller family with a substantial financial boost. As a result, the family lived peacefully and prosperously, always spending the season at their rural residence. When Goran retired, he and his wife embarked on a world tour in a camper they had purchased for this purpose. Captivated by the remote corners of Sweden, the couple began considering selling their property in Arboga to have more freedom in choosing summer vacation spots. In 2016, the Möller family decided to act on their earlier decision. They hired a professional photographer to take pictures of their residence and then handed them over to a real estate agent. Ulrika had no objections to her parents' actions, but Johanna openly criticized them. She persuaded those closest to her that Arboga was a wonderful place to celebrate shared moments. However, Goran and Anki remained unconvinced. On August 2, 2016, they arrived at their rural cottage to clean it up and prepare it for potential buyers. Upon arrival, they met their younger daughter. Johanna, accompanied by her boyfriend Mohammed among others, was just moving her furniture out of the house. The belongings were then loaded onto a truck and set off for storage, where they would await better times. As she left, Johanna announced that she would soon come to visit her parents. Goran and Anki spent the next day in a pleasant atmosphere. They cleaned, took walks, and pottered about in the garden. In the evening, they had dinner. Around 10 p.m., Anki went to bed. She didn't wait for her husband, as he usually watched the news before going to bed, about 30 minutes after her. In the middle of the night, Anki suddenly woke up from a deep sleep. Disoriented, she thought Goran accidentally hit her on the head while turning over in bed. She opened her eyes and sat up in bed. She saw a black figure leaning over her sleeping husband next to her. "What are you doing?" she cried out in confusion. However, she received no answer. In the next moment, she felt the black figure straddle her. Sharp object flashed in its hand, and then everything went black. Anki didn't know how long she had been unconscious. When she woke up, she felt that the whole bed was wet and sticky. Goran showed no signs of life. She managed to crawl to the bathroom. When she looked in the mirror, she couldn't recognize her own face. She was in shock. She went downstairs. The front door of the house was wide open. Anki found her way to the telephone. She dialed her elder daughter's number first, then her husband's, and only on the third attempt did she dial the emergency number. The woman Anki spoke to immediately dispatched an ambulance and the police. Unfortunately, the emergency services were unsure how to reach the remote forest property, so the owner had to remain on the phone for 45 minutes to provide necessary instructions. Upon arrival, it became clear that Goran could not be helped. The second victim was quickly interrogated. When asked who could have done this, she answered briefly, "Johanna." Following this confession, the severely injured 65-year-old woman was transported to the hospital. There, she underwent a 4-hour operation, during which a total of 68 stitches were applied to 24 wounds inflicted by a sharp object. It seemed that the attacker was striking blindly. The doctors concluded that if the patient had arrived at the hospital even a little later, she undoubtedly would not have survived, just like her husband. For the first few days, the main suspect in case was Anki. However, investigators quickly abandoned this hypothesis and turned their attention to the younger of the Möller couple's daughters, 42-year-old Johanna. She was born on January 15, 1975. From an early age, she had a closer bond with her father than with her mother. According to her own memories, Ankie expected to give birth to a stillborn child, so she was surprised when she delivered a completely healthy newborn. This emotionally challenging situation forever undermined their relationship. Johanna felt rejected by the most important person in her life. Meanwhile, Goran gladly took the younger child for fishing. When she turned 7, she started attending gymnastics classes. She excelled at it. She was liked by her schoolmates, did well in her studies, and left the impression of being polite and well-behaved. After completing primary school in 1991, Johanna entered a period of teenage problems. She became difficult. She also discovered that she made a big impression on boys and shamelessly took advantage of it. She loved seeing boys fulfill all her whims. At the age of 18, Johanna dropped out of school and informed her parents that she was 3 months pregnant with her boyfriend. The couple got married and soon welcomed their daughter Amanda into the world. Later, they had 2 more children, David and Julia. In 1996, Johanna felt bored with the quiet family life and engaged in a romance with a neighbor. Due to the betrayal, her marriage fell apart. Over the next few years, Johanna completed high school and college. She also got involved in subsequent relationships and gave birth to more children. While her older sister and father successfully expanded the family business, she struggled to make ends meet. She had to constantly borrow money from her family. In 2012, she met a man named Aki Pasila, and they had twins together. Shortly after, she began persuading her partner to take out a life insurance policy. Just before 9 a.m. on August 8, 2015, Aki's body was found on the shallows of Lake Hjälmaren near the Möller family estate. Johanna later explained to the police that her partner must have gone fishing while she was still asleep. The autopsy revealed that Aki lost his life around 9 p.m. the previous day. His blood showed that he was drinking, and water was found in his lungs. The conclusion was simple: death due to accidental drowning. A few days later, Johanna attempted to withdraw money from his policy, giving the police reason to suspect that she was actually involved in her partner's accident in order to enrich herself. She was arrested and brought before the court, but the court freed her of the charges due to a lack of hard evidence of guilt. In December 2015, Johanna met a new love, 20-year-old Afghan expat Mohammed Rajabi. The couple met at a refugee center. Johanna appeared there regularly, recruiting workers for a small business she ran with a friend. One day she proposed to Mohammed that he move in with her. In the summer of 2016, the parents finally cut their daughter off from their money. Johanna felt deeply affected. Soon after, she began telling her lover how bad Goran and Ankie were. She argued that from a young age they had treated her bad. She used to love her father very much, but now she hates him. She expressed similar sentiments about her mother. Eventually, she began urging Mohammed to kill them. Mohammed could not believe his ears. He didn't want to do it. He wanted to part ways with Johanna, but she would not relent. She did not want to give the young man his freedom back, and gradually pressured him more and more. She even devised a detailed plan and only wanted Rajabi to carry it out. In the end, the young expat succumbed to his mistress's demands. "I will do it," he promised. The opportunity arose in the summer of 2016. Johanna and Mohammed arrived in Arboga on August 2, 2016, to take the woman's belongings from the property. In the evening, it was time to complete the plan. At 7 p.m., the couple got into their car and headed towards the red-painted cottage where Goran and Ankie were spending the night. They parked the car close to their destination. Johanna gave her lover gloves, a shirt, and a blade. She informed him that her parents were staying overnight in the upstairs bedroom. Mohammed easily entered the house. The front door was not locked. He quickly found the place where the victims were sleeping. He waited another 30 minutes and then entered the room. The confrontation lasted only a few minutes. Afterward, he ran back to the car where Johanna was waiting for him. "What happened?" she asked. seeing the red fluid on her lover's clothes. "See for yourself if you want," Mohammed snapped. Over the next few days, couple attempted to flee Sweden, but they were caught and arrested on charges of murder. However, they soon regained their freedom after vehemently denying any involvement in the deaths of Goran and Anki. However, their impunity did not last long. In September 2016, Mohammed and Johanna were once again behind bars, this time for good. Rajabi almost immediately confessed what he did to the Möller couple under the influence of their younger daughter, Johanna. He stated that the motive was money. Johanna wanted to finally secure herself financially. Investigators easily found evidence of guilt for the accused duo, such as the victim's blood in Johanna's car and a shoe print matching Mohammed's footwear in the cottage in Arboga. Mohammed Rajabi was found guilty and sentenced to 14 years in prison. Under Swedish law, he was tried as a juvenile. Rajabi, who came to Sweden as a lone refugee from Iran, admitted to the murder and attempted murder of Möller's parents. However, his age became a point of contention during the trial. Swedish medical experts couldn't confirm if he was younger than 21, but documents from Iran authorities eventually showed he was 20 at the time of the murder. The court sentenced him to 14 years in prison and also issued a deportation order banning him from returning to Sweden. Previously, persons younger than 21 years old were entitled to a youth rebate during sentencing for all crimes. This youth rebate no longer applies to crimes adjudicated after January 2, 2022, that carry a minimum sentence of more than 1 year of imprisonment. The purpose of this change was to increase punishment for more serious crimes and prevent lenient sentences that fail to recognize the severity of the offense. Despite consistently claiming her innocence, Johanna Möller received a life sentence for incitement to murder and complicity in the crime. The court deemed her the mastermind behind the gruesome plot. Anki eventually recovered, although her health is not ideal. She also cut off contact with her younger child for good. "I'm considering visiting her one last time in the Ystad prison before she dies," she said in a press interview. "I need explanations. I want her to tell me everything from the day she decided to kill us, but I don't think I'll ever get that. Psychopaths never admit their guilt." Thank you for listening until the end. Until next time, goodbye.